Hi everyone. In this lecture, we are going to talk about strings. And before you solve it, string problems, let us learn about the basics of strings. Okay. So in C++, there are two ways to represent a string. One using a character array. You can say, okay, this character array represents a string, and you can initialize it with some list of characters, and you can also take input. But that is not a recommended way of working with strings for most problems because it's not easy. uh, it offers less flexibility also because the size of the character array has to be fixed. So what we will do, instead of using character arrays, we have the string class, which provides a lot of inbuilt functions, and it also provides you with dynamic arrays. Okay, so let's create a string s. Now this string uses a dynamic array. That means the size can be changed on the runtime also. So what we can do is we can take input this. Maybe we can initialize it with some value. Maybe let's say hello world. Okay, so this will print some value, maybe cout handle, and let us try to run this code. And I can say dot slash strings. Okay, I just forgot to add a s here. So you can see the output is hello world. That means we are able to create a string. Or you can also use the initialization like this. That means you're making a call to the constructor to create this object. So this will also work fine. Another way is you can also take input. If you don't want to initialize the string, you can take input using a special function called as getLine. So I can say getLine scene comma s. This will accept input from the user and it will put this input inside this string. So if I say okay hello, I get the output hello. But if I say hello followed by space followed by world, then also I get the output as this one. But suppose I want to accept a paragraph which is terminated by a null, or which is terminated by a dot. So I can say okay hello, uh, let's see. Yeah, so I forgot to build the code. Hello world, and maybe how are you, and here I terminate with a dot. Then you can see it is accepting entire input till it hits a dot. So the third argument is a, you can say, delimiter, where it tells this function when to stop. Okay, so this tells the function when to stop taking input. And you can also create a array of strings. In that case I would prefer using a vector of string. So you take input multiple strings and you put them inside that particular vector. So that is doable. And another thing is, in strings you can also iterate. You can say okay, for some character ch that is there in s, let us try to print every character of this particular string. So we can put a loop. So you can see we are iterating over this string like an array. So this string is like an array, and maybe if I say hello world followed by dot, I need to build code again. Oh right, so there is a problem that we are taking input afterwards and printing first. So in the beginning it's a null string, that's why we are not getting this output. So let me fix it and let's do it again. So hello dot, and you can see we are able to iterate over each character of the string, and these strings are automatically null terminated. So that's about input and output. And if you want to take input multiple strings, that can also be done. Maybe int n is 5, and you can say while n minus minus, I want to input 5 strings and store them inside a vector. So I can say vector of string string array, and I can say okay string array dot pushback some temporary string. So we can say okay, I have a temporary variable where this string is going to get stored. So here I can say that get line, I can say scene comma temp, and that's it. For string x that is there inside the string array, we can print all of them one by one. So earlier we were iterating over the list of characters inside a string, but now we are so we need to include this file vector also, but now we are taking input multiple strings, so maybe s1, s2, apple, mango, and guava. Okay, so by default, when we are not telling that these strings should be terminated by a space, then we should, by default, a string terminates at a new line. So this actually becomes s1, this becomes s2, and this is s3, this is s4, and this is s5. Now our code will stop. Okay, by default it is assuming that the string terminates at a new line. Okay, so if you want to give 5 words, then you should give input like this: s1, s2, s3, s4, and s5. Then you're getting this particular output. Okay, so that's another change that you should definitely note. And the string class also offers a lot of helpful functions that we will see in the next lecture.